All right, so once we get to this point, we have our micro SD card, we have our mic plugged in, power's on, we're looking good, and the last thing that we picked up on is that we want to format this SD card because there's some recordings on here, and the way that you can check that, guys, is by pressing this play pause button up here at the top right. So this will automatically play and go through what you have in your micro SD card saved, and you can delete it as you wish. Let me play this. There we go, I'm playing it. Nope. Okay, that's good to hear. So if I want to format it, there is a button on here that I have to press and hold, and then that will change the functions of these four buttons down here. Which button is that? I'll give you a hint. It's on the right hand side. Stephanie says option. She is correct. So what we went over yesterday, watch this. As I press the stop button, it kind of flashes it. So let's hold down the stop button that says option, and then boom, that actually changes what we have right here available. So when we hold it down, what do I need to press next in order to format my card? Is it kind of tough to see? Do I need to zoom in a little bit more? Marcus says menu over here on the right. Yeah, that would be correct. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now I can take my thumb off the option button on the right hand side. So once we hold down option, it'll change these buttons here, and then we can press record level, and it's underneath what was menu. So now we're on the menu. So now these buttons are up, down, enter, or right, and then we have exit right here. So if I want to go down the menu, let's go down a little bit. And what's the word that we're looking for again? Format, yeah. So if we're looking for format, I don't see format in here a little bit. I see record, play, date time, LCD battery, auto power off, but I do see SD card. So when we go here, I'm going to enter into SD card because we want to format our SD card, right? Okay, so I clicked record level, so I clicked the right button, so I progressed into it. I can test or format it. All right, this must be the right thing, so let's format it. Now, all right, it says execute or cancel. Now, am I on cancel or am I on execute right now? I don't know how I... Am I on execute? Are you sure? If we see the check mark right here next to the word cancel, there we go. Yeah, I'm currently on cancel, so even if I press this check mark right over here, then it's going to cancel it, and it's going to send me right back to where it was. It's like, what the heck? I thought I formatted it. Yes, I want to move it to execute. So let's go back here. Let's go up. Can you guys see clearly, or should I zoom in a little bit more? All right, here. I got you. Is that what happens? Oh yeah, you know what? That's exactly what I did. I'm sorry. That's probably a lot better. There we go. Sorry. That was weird. I forgot about doing that. Alright, so we're on execute right here. Make sure we have the check mark over execute. Dang, yeah, you guys are sorry about that. So when I hit the check mark, it shows you this little sand dial where it's loading and it's formatting the SD card right now. It says done, great. And then another way what we can do is that we can test the SD card and make sure that it's right. Because on this particular field recorder, guys, there are specific measurements that need to be met. It says 32 gigabytes, it says up to 32 gigabytes on the specifications. So what's going to happen if we have a 64 gigabyte micro SD card in our field recorder? Is it going to let us record? No, it will not let you record. It says only up to 32 gigabytes. So if it's too big of a card, then that's too much data that it has to process. Up to 32, yeah. So if we get like, oh, I want all the space in the world, let me get a 128 micro SD card from my field recorder. And then all of a sudden you plug it in and it's not working. It's like, oh wait, what the heck is going on? You're like, oh, okay. So with doing that, real quick, we're gonna go ahead and test this. We can do a quick test or a full test, making sure that this card meets the specifications that we have. Let's do a quick test. Full test will take a little bit longer. Then we'll execute. Go ahead and run through all of that. Almost done here. And once it's done, it'll let you know. And right there, it says results okay. That's what it says. Nancy, you have a question?
Yeah, my computer was messing up. How did you get to this point where you got to the test? Because I've tried every button. I don't know how you did it.
How do I get to the point for the test?
Yeah.
Oh, it's simple. So we're gonna go back to the start here.
Okay.
And then from here, let me try it. Here we go, it's better. From here we hold down Option, and then we press Record Level, which takes us to the menu. And then we're going to cycle through until we find...
Record level at the same time?
Yeah, you have to press Option and Record Level at the same time.
Alright.
Then once you get there, we're going to go down to SD card. And then once you finally find SD card on your menu, you click Record Level again. This allows you to have two options, format or test. We've already formatted our card and we want to test it out and make sure that it's the right type of micro SD card for us.
So on the SD card, press record level again?
Yeah, once you get to SD card, whatever your arrow is on.
Yeah, format test. Okay, I see it now.
It tells you these dark buttons that you see with these arrows are associated with the four buttons underneath. So record level is enter to the right, record format is back to the left, and then low cut is moving up on the list and limiter is moving down. So I can do a quick test or a full test. We do a quick test for time purposes, but let's go back. And now when we're back to the home screen, Sharif, I have a question for you, buddy. How do we double check and see that it has properly formatted our micro SD card to make sure that it's wiped it clean and everything? What button should I press to check those playbacks and the recordings that were originally on here? Uh-oh. There we go. It says options. You're close. You're very, very close, Sharif. What's right next to options, though? One right above. No, not menu, Tatiana. What was something that I used earlier in order to actually play these old recordings?
The play button up above, play pause.
Yep, this one right here. Whenever you press this, if you guys, yeah, exactly, there we go. Whenever you press this, it's going to play and to pause and go through the different recordings that you have in your SD card. Watch what happens when I press this. There's no file. That means it's formatted. It's completely wiped clean. But we can also see that we have our SD card in here because it says right next to the runtime SD card, right next to the levels that you guys hear on me. So, real quick, we're about to record and we're good on a lot of stuff that we have, but there is one thing in particular that we need to do up in order to get the best audio signal from our talent, probably ourselves. What's the next thing that we have to do in order to get the best audio signal with our equipment? Gave you a little hint right there. Yep. Yeah, we need to put the mic on. Can't just say record and then have our mic in a bad place and then all of a sudden it picks up terrible audio. Because we haven't clipped it onto our talent and we haven't clipped it onto ourself yet. So, we're going to have to clip this on. So let me adjust the camera for a little bit. That's why it looks so bad. It's crooked. There we go. Right about there. So, let me get here to this point. Let me turn down the ISO just a little bit. It's not too bad. Here we go. So, we have our micro SD card in there. We have our mic, our headphones plugged into it so we hear the playback. Remember, this mic port can work for both our shotgun mics that we have and our lavaliers. Any type of microphone that can fit into this port can be used as a recording device, okay? So, if I'm wearing a polo right now, there is a specific part that I want to try to clip the mic. And that is in this general area. You want to stick to basically clipping and putting your lavalier mic onto your talents or your subject's abdominal area, like sort of like in the chest, because this is where they're going to pick up the best, clearest audio signal. Now, if you went high up and you got into like the neck area, the way that my voice is being projected is going out kind of like this. If you got it underneath the chin, it's not going to be the best type of signal because sound is traveling more out here than it is directly underneath my chin and onto my neck. So if we clipped it right here, or if we clipped it in like the middle of the neck, you might be focusing and hearing more of the vibrations of my throat instead of the clarity of my voice. So, real quick, if I'm wearing a polo or a shirt with a collar, something that I want to show you guys particularly as well is that there's kind of a little trick for this. So in order to hide it really, really well, let's see if I can. There we go. Looks a lot better. Yay. It's a lot better. Nice. Okay. So a little trick that we have here. If you guys remember, the way that this clip is structured is that the mic is on one point. If I put this mic on me, should the mic be tucked in to where it goes into my shirt? It's kind of hard to see. Should I put the mic kind of like right here, to where it's facing my skin and it's inside of my shirt and it's kind of up close near my neck? Is this a good spot right here, guys? Nancy says no. Stephanie says no too. They are correct. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible spot. Number one, we're underneath our chin and we're closer to our neck right here. We're not focused on like the chest area. That's where we want to place our lavalier mics. Number two, the clip that we have being inserted is, how do I do this? The clip that we have, how it's faced like this, everyone. Let me see. How it's faced like that. The side that your mic is poking out should be on the outside of your talent's fabric, on the outside of their clothes. Yes, that's a good. I was actually about to get into it, Tatiana. Thank you. That's perfect. Do you guys remember what I went over yesterday when we talked about the loop? We talked about a loop that a lot of people do in the industry. So what we do is that we want to take the cord that we have and we want to go through this clip. So we go to basically the back end of it. If we turn it around where the clip actually pinches, we let it pinch as we open the clip of the mic. Oh my gosh, there we go. As we open the clip of the mic, we kind of pinch it a little bit like that. And then we come back around and then it should look a lot like that. This is just kind of a thing that I would keep in mind because a lot of people do pinch it and they still kind of do it to this day. This provides like a decent amount of slack so that if their cord is kind of tugged, like their mic has like a little bit of loose room, if you will, for some margin of error in case something were to happen. But how we do this, specifically on my shirt, is that, let me angle this down a little bit. So when we have talent, we want to take this and we want to tell them, okay, I need you to take this microphone line, I need you to put it up your shirt. So if you have a dude or somebody wearing a collar, this is one of the best ways to do it. You might have to, however they have their collar or however they have their buttons done, it's best to do probably one in the middle. So I have one button undone and I'm going to undo one more. So when I get this, I'm going to undo this one. And then I'm going to make sure that my mic is facing on the outside. And I'm going to clip it to my collar like so. And so, once I have it clipped on there, I'm going to button this back up again and face it right here. And if you guys can see, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Can you guys see pretty clearly as to how it's oriented and how it's on me? It hides really well with my black shirt, but it's poking out just enough to where it's getting a good audio signal right here. So it's pointed straight up to my face, so it should be getting a clear audio signal, but it's hidden enough to be in the collar of the shirt. So it's a pretty good overview. Good job on that one, guys. So alright, now that we have that, we also want to take our recorder. We want to look at the clips that we have here on the sides or on the back. And we have like a nice little clip that we can put in our pockets. You can either put it in your pocket, your back pocket, or clip it to maybe your pocket. So I'll clip it to my pocket my side pocket right here. Once I clip that to my side pocket, that looks pretty good right there. But we want to make sure that we have a good clean audio signal so we can hear the playback from our line. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in. And now I can hear myself. Now obviously you want to get your microphone placed in the right spot. And then before you even start recording, you want to hear the different settings that we can tweak once we come back from our break to see what you sound like on your field recorder, okay? Maybe you want to turn the gain up a little bit. Maybe you want to increase the level. Maybe you want to go from a low to a mid, or from a mid to a high, or a high plus plus, because you want to get that high quality audio and you want to get as much as you possibly can. But this right here, we don't want to record ourselves on camera with a little line in our ear. So make sure that we take this out as we are recording ourselves on the microphone, because then later we're going to patch and we're going to pair and we're going to see the different levels that we have, and we're going to see how each one affects our audio signal. That's what I wanted to do yesterday. But real quick guys, it's 9 o'clock right now. We need to take our first 10-minute break of the class. When we reconvene, we're going to go over the limiter, the level, the record formats, and the record level. The limiter, the low cut, that's what it was. Sorry, forgot the terms for a second. All right, we'll be back here at make it. Yes, Nancy, you have a question?
Yeah, I wanted to say that this, the lavalier, the part where I plug in the earbuds or the earphones, I have to keep turning it where I can push it in, but sometimes it doesn't play. I mean, I can't hear. I have to turn the jack.
Yeah, that might be something it's either the field recorder itself, maybe it's not, or maybe what you're plugged in, if it, like you said, I know we had this yesterday, it might not be plugged in all the way, you need to push it like all the way through. It's either that or, yeah, it's either that or it is something with the field recorder, or it's the fact that maybe the headset, if you will, it doesn't receive the audio that much. So if you have like a regular pair of earbuds just kind of lying around, something like this.
They're both doing the same thing, the earbuds and the earphones I bought.
Okay, dang.
I have to turn it to get a connection.
Yeah, once you find that sweet spot, I'd use it, but that means that there's something wrong with the field recorder probably. So, in order to address that, okay, 902, yeah. We'll look into that later, okay, Nancy? If it's a continuing issue, I'll try to see if we can like fix the equipment there. So, it's 9:02 a.m. right now, guys. You spell Celtics, yeah, CELTX. That's no, that's not how you spell it. That's not how you spell it either. Oh my goodness. That's how you spell it. Sorry, Marcus. The last one. So, alright, it's going to be 9:03 a.m. guys. Make that a 10-minute break. It's going to be from 9:03 to 9:13 a.m. Okay? And then once we get there, we'll be back and we're going to continue with the lecture and with the project that we have for our audio project, okay? Because I need to make sure that you guys retain all this information about how to set up your field recorder. Alright? I'll see you guys in 10 minutes at 9:13 a.m., okay?